Wasted World of Sports, ahoy! How is everybody doing? Welcome back for some more KFC Big Bash. Never thought that we would get this many games in. I really didn't. It was one as a trial, and then we've ended up doing every one so far. Our first look at the Hobart Hurricanes tonight. We've seen every other team, but our first look at the Hurricanes and what they might be able to offer as they take on the Melbourne Renegades, who only just missed out against the Sydney Sixers the other night. Players to watch for this one. Big Josh Brown. I'm so disappointed as a Brisbane Heat supporter that he's gone. But look for him to put on another decent performance with the bat tonight. I've got him to hit a 6. But despite that, it's the Renegades who have won the bat flip, and they've elected to field. So it'll be the Hurricanes batting first. So let's talk about the Hurricanes' big threat, Ben McDermott. I've got Ben McDermott scoring 10-plus runs, and I've got him hitting a 6, at the very least one. But outside of that, I mean, the Hurricanes, they've got a nice depth in their batting lineup. They'll be hard to beat tonight, but it should be a good game because the Melbourne Renegades are not the easy beats that they used to be. The traditional wooden spooners of the competition, but I think they're a bit better than that this year. And the addition of Josh Brown will certainly go a long way to them racking up some respectable totals and some defendable totals for the likes of Adam Zampa to bowl at. And at least they give themselves an opportunity. We've talked about it at the start of every game so far. Get yourself up to around 140 first. If you get yourself to 140 as a foundation and you end up with anything above 160, 170, you have put yourself in a really, really good spot. Of course, that didn't quite work out last night, but the Melbourne Stars bowled really, really poorly. In terms of a tip for this one, anybody's guess. I really went out of my way to cover this game because I do think it is going to be one of the ones that goes right down to the wire. But we'll see. It's hard to predict at the moment, the Hurricanes, because we haven't seen them yet in any sort of action. If we check out the Big Bash table thus far, it's the Perth Scorchers and the Brisbane Heat who are setting the pace. And the Sydney Sixers as well, not far behind them. Hurricanes, this is our first look at them, as I said. But it's really been the Melbourne Stars so far that have been a disappointment. Down on the bottom of the table there at the moment with no wins to their name. The Renegades, 1 match and 1 loss, but as I said, it was far from a big loss. They just didn't quite get the job done there against the Sydney Sixers. So we'll see what they can come up with tonight. Guess who's back? Back again. Liam's back. Grab a drink. Well, it didn't rhyme, but I just really wanted to grab my drink. You know how it is here. It's the Wasted World of Sports. What would be the Wasted World of Sports without big fella in front of the microphone drinking? So yes, the Melbourne Renegades, they'll be looking to go a little bit better this season, and I think they've got the team to do it. So we'll see. I've ended up tipping them. Now, I've put my multi into 2 separate parts tonight just to make it a little easier to follow along with. For those on YouTube, Wasted World of Sports, of course, on YouTube, live on TikTok. The TikTok screen is a little bit more condensed, I suppose. Not as much on there, not as much room for me to be able to display things. Over on the YouTube feed, there's stuff everywhere. Such as my same game multi predictions. Since the Hobart Hurricanes are batting first, Ben McDermott, I think, is the player to watch here. If the Hurricanes are going to go on and win, Ben McDermott will play a very, very big part. He'll get the innings off to a good start, assuming he opens. I can't imagine why you would have Ben McDermott in your team if he's not opening the batting. and going out there and taking advantage of the power play. I was very tempted to give him 20-plus runs, but play it safe and go just the 10-plus. And Ben McDermott to hit a 6 in terms of the bowling. Adam Zampa to take a wicket. And Rogers for the Renegades to take a wicket as well. So that is the first. That's the first innings. They're on the same game multi. And then what we'll do in the innings break is I'll switch that over. And we only have on the screen the relevant information at the time. There's no point having on the screen a part of my multi that is the Melbourne Renegades batsman, for example. Like I've got Josh Brown to hit a 6. There's not really much point having that on the screen right now. So the Melbourne Renegades have won the bat flip. They've elected to bowl. A bold decision. Because it means they're going to be chasing. And I'm pretty sure out of the opening 4 games, 4 or 5 games, what are we up to now? Match 5, yes. So I'm fairly certain out of the opening 4 games, well, it's been pretty even, actually. It's been split, now that I think about it. Mason over there on TikTok. Ahoy there. Welcome along. Wasted World of Sports, of course, live on YouTube, live on TikTok, and sometimes live on Facebook as well. Who do I think is winning? This is honestly a true 50-50 game. The Melbourne Renegades are a lot stronger this year. If it were any other season, I would have said Hobart Hurricanes win this in an absolute canter. Renegades are a lot stronger this season, so I think it'll be closer than people really suspect. The bookmakers are struggling to split them at the moment. The last time I checked, the odds were $1.85, I believe, for the Renegades and $1.90 for the Hurricanes. So even the bookmakers are having trouble splitting these two teams at the moment. So I'm looking forward to a cracker. Walshy, ahoy there, watching from Launceston, Tasmania. Very nice. Tasmania, of course. Now, my understanding is that cricket is quite massive in Tasmania. Is that a correct statement? And it is the first time in BBL 14 that we are catching the Hobart Hurricanes. So we're looking forward to see what they can dish up. It sure is an AFL. Well, there you go. That's fantastic to know that I have not been lied to about the popularity of cricket in Tasmania. Renegades have won the bat flip, as I said, and they have elected to bowl first. So they've got to make sure that they do. Whenever you win the toss and make a choice, you've got to make sure it counts, right? I mean, state the obvious. Talk about stating the obvious, Dan, but yes. They've got to be able to go out there and set the tone early, and it's up to the Hurricanes to diffuse that. Aaron, 888, ahoy there, mate. Welcome back. All right, so this first innings, the Hobart Hurricanes batting. Ben McDermott to score 10+. Ben McDermott to hit a 6. Wicket takers for the Renegades, among others, I'm sure, but Adam Zampa will bag one tonight, I reckon, as well as Rogers. So that's what we've got to keep an eye on. Well, I'll be damned. I will be damned. I tell you what, I was just talking in the pregame. Why would you have Ben McDermott in your squad if you don't have him opening the batting? Well, I'll tell you why. Because Matthew Wade and Owen are opening the batting here for the Hurricanes. I find that very interesting. I would have sworn blind that Ben McDermott would be opening. Well, that's interesting. My God, Owen is an absolute monster. What is he, like 10 feet tall? Or does he just look humongous because he's standing next to Matt Wade, who's not a big man by any stretch of the imagination? Well, this is interesting to start off with. I was talking the entire pregame all around Ben McDermott. What's Ben McDermott going to do? Well, apparently he's not going to do too much just yet. Mitch Owen and Matthew Wade opening the batting here for the Hurricanes. And first use of the ball goes to Fergus O'Neill. Fergus. D-Funk over there on YouTube. Ahoy, mate. D-Funk, I think you are the only channel member that seems to... The only YouTube channel member that seems to give a damn about cricket. Very fascinating statistic. XJC, ahoy, mate. Welcome along. Just in time for the first ball. Mere seconds away now. Fergus O'Neill. Bowls one out wide of off stump. And that's just allowed to go through to the keeper. And an anticlimactic start to this one. XJC, you used to be, what, a cricket fan or a channel member? Which one? Or both? O'Neill in again, and a big slash at this outside off from Wade. Oh, a channel member. Nice. Dan, is it bad that I'm hearing sizzles from my power board after I plugged in my laptop charger? Look, I am not an expert electrician, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say, yes, that's probably a pretty bad thing. What I would suggest doing, and take this advice for whatever it's worth, because like I said, I'm not an electrician, but what I would maybe suggest doing is trying to plug your laptop charger into another outlet and see if it still sizzles. Because at least that way you can find out, do I need a new power board or do I need a new laptop charger? That's what I would suggest. Wade has a drive at this one outside off stump and he picks out the fielder. They do come through for a quick single and the Hurricanes are on the board. But it's been a good over to start from Fergus O'Neill. A little bit wide outside off stump, but he's got away with it. And 3 deliveries gone, just the 1 run. O'Neill beats the bat, hits the pads, a big appeal from the bowler, but nobody else was interested. And he meanders back to his mark now. No thought of a DRS review there at all. It was going a mile down leg side. Just the 1 run from the opening over. Good start. Remember the Renegades, they won the bat flip. They elected to field first, so it was critical that they get off to a start similar to this one. And a wicket, I'm sure, would just cap it off nicely for them. O'Neill follows the batsman as he steps back to try and give himself room. Down to long on for a single. There you go. Very good to hear, XJC. Sometimes that can happen. A certain section of the power board is maybe that part's just done. So maybe don't use that particular part of the board anymore. Last ball of the over. Wade tries to ramp it over the top of the infield, and he gets enough on it. A couple of bounces to the fence. And that has turned a decent over. Well, it's turned a very good opening over from the Renegades bowler into a decent one. None for 6 after 1. Good shot from Wade. We're seeing that a lot to start the Big Bash. Lots of ramps. Batsmen struggling early to get contact with traditional cricket shots. And the ramp has certainly provided a lot of runs. None for 6 after the first over. All right, so let's see. Tom Rogers, here we go. I've got Tom Rogers in my multi for a wicket taker. And then who knows, maybe we get Ben McDermott out to the crease. Rogers, what can he come up with here for the Renegades? Puts it in. On target with the stumps, and it's an outside edge from Owen. And it's gone all the way to the fence. A diving effort from Zampa in the outfield, not enough. Down to third man for 4. Unlucky start, Rogers. Got to be careful out there, Zampa. We've seen a lot of injuries from diving along the outfield to start the Big Bash. Gina Ferracini, ahoy! Rogers in the exact same spot. This one's a little higher up. And it's been smashed over mid-on, down to the boundary for 4. Well, has this gone for 4? Mitch Owen, he certainly didn't get it cleanly out of the middle of the bat. And that's hit the fence. That's 4. What's going on here? That is most definitely a 4. Four runs there is the call. So, yeah, just he needs to either get a little bit more full here, Rogers, or straighten it up a wee bit, just leaving Mitch Owen too much of a swinging arc there. And he's a big man. We were talking about that when we saw him walk out. Mitch Owen must be about 10 feet tall. There we go. That's better. Drifting onto the pads. But he had the right length. There was no half volley there, so Owen couldn't get it away. They raced through for a leg bye. That was a much better line and length for the big fella. This brings Wade on strike. 5 or 4 at the moment. None for 15. The Hurricanes to start this one. I'm still struggling with the fact that Ben McDermott didn't open the batting. Let's see, is he coming in first drop? No. Ben McDermott is listed to come in at 4th. Wow, that's crazy. They're going all right at the moment, though, despite that, the Hurricanes. None for 15. Edged and gone. Well, right when I say it, the commentator's curse strikes again. Tom Rogers bangs it in, just short of the length. And an outside edge from Wade. Straight to the keeper. And we have got our first tick off the multi. Rogers coming through with the wicket. Fantastic stuff. Rogers gets our first notch on the belt, gets the first wicket for the Renegades. And now that very much justifies their decision, winning the toss and sending the Hurricanes into bat. 1 for 15, a good start with the ball there. Rogers coming through with the goods. And the dangerous Matthew Wade back in the dugout. Shy Hope out to the crease. Ben McDermott demoted this season, hey? Down to 4th. Nine runs off the over so far. But most importantly for the Renegades, a big wicket of Matthew Wade. Rogers full, outside off. And it's driven away to mid-off. No run is taken. 1 for 15. It's hard to believe there's only 1.5 overs gone. It feels like we're already about quarter of the way through this innings. But we're not. We're only ending the second over. Rogers, he's already come through for us. Final ball of his first over is wide down the leg side, way wide. And it's called. He's going to have to bowl that one again. Well, we've seen it happen a few times where a no ball or a wide, an extra of some description, it creates another delivery. And how often do you see it? The bowler actually takes a wicket off that extra delivery. We'll see. Can Rogers do the same here? Bag a second in the over. No, Hope just plays that one away nicely. Short third man races in. And just a single to finish the over. 1 for 17. 2 overs gone. They'll be disappointed about the wicket, obviously. And the run rate, again, just not up to where we've seen it in the opening few games. But we've seen some crazy run rates in the opening couple of games, though. They were 11 to 13, the run rates. And in the most recent couple of games, we have seen it more around the normal 8 and 9 mark. 8.5 or thereabouts here for the Hurricanes. Plenty of batting to come. McDermott coming in next. Shortery, David, Jordan, they can all hit. Liam says, guess what? You're back. Am I right? Richardson into the bowling attack, puts it right into the arc. And Hope didn't get hold of it. Ah, thank you very much, Liam. Over there on TikTok. Sending a rose. They come back for 2, but Hope let that one slide. He would want his time over again and have another crack at that. That was right in the slot. But it was a loosener there from Kane Richardson. You forgot to send a football like yesterday. That's all good, mate. Another dot ball for the Renegades. Two runs off this over so far. Richardson will be key in keeping the run rate down. If they can bag some runs off him, they've been the Hurricanes. If they can get some runs off him, then they'll have gone a long, long way here. Getting themselves a nice big score. Richardson, perfectly placed outside off stump, and a big slash at that from Hope. Lucky that he doesn't make any contact, and through to the keeper it goes. Nicely bowled. Richardson, another dot ball. 1 for 19, the Hurricanes. That wicket has well and truly just slowed things down. Richardson, again, just that line just outside the off stump. Bangs it in a little bit shorter this time, and Hope just fends it away to cover. No run. Two from the over so far. This has been good bowling. One of the more experienced campaigners, of course, Kane Richardson. Do you expect to see him go well? 7.12, the run rate. That one's Fuller, outside off. Out to deep point for one. They've got a boundary rider out there, a little bit of protection. But this has been a good over. What we saw last time, that they had a good over like this, all set up. A ramp shot from Matthew Wade. But Wade's not out there. Yes, Liam, we're live on YouTube as well. Wasted Water Sports. Final ball of the over. Owen gives himself some space. That'll just be one. They maybe push for two. Just the single. And that is a very solid over from Kane Richardson. Just the 4 runs from it. And this has been very, very good from the Hurricanes, from the Renegades. It's been okay from the Hurricanes. They will not be happy at all, though, with the wicket. Matthew Wade, a cheeky little edge through to the keeper. Now, what I want to look at, actually, this is what I want to see. I'm still playing around with the screen layout. We're going to figure out what's on there as Rogers comes back into the attack. He gets a top edge immediately. It's only out to the circle, and mid-on plants himself under it for another wicket. Tom Rogers. Well, I had him for 1 wicket. He's gone and got 2. And Mitch Owen's on his way back to the pavilion. And the Renegades, they've started well here. Two for 21. 3.1 overs gone. And the big hitting Mitch Owen is back in the pavilion. So now, here comes Ben McDermott. In terms of my multi, and for the Hurricanes, we need him to get 10 runs. Rock my balls. Ahoy there. Who do you tip to win? No idea about cricket. I've tipped the Melbourne Renegades. Oh, no! McDermott has just paddled this straight to the fielder at mid-wicket. That is incredible. Well, Tom Rogers is on fire. Ben McDermott, a lot of hope had fallen onto his shoulders, and his very first delivery, he is just... Oh, what was he even doing? He's just paddled this up straight to the fielder at mid-wicket. And he's on his way, and Tom Rogers is on a hat-trick. And that is huge, and that ends any chance of this first little leg of the multi that's under my face there on YouTube. And that is a massive, massive wicket. And it is a big, big advantage now for the Melbourne Renegades. Huge. Ben McDermott back in the dugout for a duck. Nikhil Chaudhry to the crease. Can I explain my multi, please? Okay. So that batsman that just went and got himself out, I needed him to score 10 plus runs. I needed him to hit a 6. And for the rest of the multi, I had Tom Rogers to take a wicket, which he did. He's taken 3. We'll come back to that because this is the hat-trick delivery. Rogers in, and it's been left outside off by Chaudhry. He misses out on his hat trick, but he's picked up 3 wickets overall. Rogers is on absolute fire. The Renegades on absolute fire at the moment. A very soft dismissal there. Ben McDermott probably just a little too tentative. He's so used to just coming out there and smacking the leather off the ball. Turned away for a single. Square on leg side. And that's the first runs off this over. 4 deliveries gone. I lost my multi as well, mate. Don't you worry. I needed Ben McDermott for 10 runs and a 6. Very disappointing there, Ben McDermott. Rogers in again, drifts down leg side, and that'll be a wide. 3 for 22. This has been a dream start from the Renegades. Very specifically, Tom Rogers. All right, I wonder how I can go about. I'll investigate that maybe for the next game. Rogers, still 2 left in this over. It's full and it's straight. And Hope just puts it straight to mid-off along the ground. No run. This has been such a good over. This is the over that's really put the Renegades on top early. Justifying that decision. Winning the toss, of course, and electing to field. That decision is well and truly justified now. 3 for 23 as an absolute dream start. Rogers, half volley outside off, and Hope says thank you very much. And that will relieve things a little bit for the Hurricanes. Hope spanks it over cover fence for 6. And it's 3 for 29. So another good finish to an over for the Hurricanes. The Renegades have just been unable to close out the overs, giving away boundaries now on multiple occasions. But when you've taken 2 wickets in the over, I think you can forgive yourself for a 6 on the final ball. And that's the end of the power play as well. That is the end of the power play. Only 29 runs from it. I think that is the worst power play that we've seen so far. 3 for 29 after 4 overs. That might be the worst start that we've seen any team get off to just in the games that we've had so far. Fergus O'Neill back into the attack. He's turned away for a quick single. Cruiser, ahoy, mate. O'Neill drifts onto the pads, turned away nicely through mid-wicket. Just the 1 run. Hey, all I said was they've got off to the worst start of any team in the opening 4 overs yet. They're certainly more than capable of recovering from here. Well, just as I say that, Chaudhry's popped this one up in the air. Underneath it, down at long leg to take the catch. And the commentator's curse strikes again. They've lost another wicket. Chaudry back in the sheds. Cruiser, as a Hurricanes fan, can you explain this to me? Because the entire pregame, my whole analysis in the opening of this stream was around Ben McDermott opening the batting. I built a same-game multi around Ben McDermott opening the batting. I can't understand why you would have Ben McDermott in your squad and not have him opening the batting. Have I missed something, or because he comes in at number 4 and just paddles one straight to mid-wicket on the opening delivery? I don't think he's really meant for coming in at 4th drop. Benjamin, who do I think will win the comp? I think Perth Scorchers would have to be the favourites. But the Brisbane Heat laid down a pretty high bar last night. The Brisbane Heat signalled their intent, and they had players out as well. So it could be a Scorchers Brisbane Heat final. But that, of course, is just based off one game. There's plenty more games to go as O'Neill wide down the leg side. And I'll have to bowl that one again. 4 for 32 it is. And I had just been talking about the Hobart Hurricanes, their batting depth, and how they can still recover this innings. And right on cue, they lose a wicket. 4 for 31. Two deliveries left here for Fergus O'Neill. That's an edge and gone. Another one falls. Well, they're not even going to make 100 here at this point. And that was Tim David. Tim David, of course, another one who would have been capable of rebuilding this innings. And he has just got a soft little feather through to the keeper. He was late down on this shot. A little bit of outward movement off the pitch. And they are in complete tatters here, the Hobart Hurricanes. Tim David and Ben McDermott are two BBL batsmen that I would honestly have them 9 times out of 10. I would have both of those guys in a multi for 20 plus runs. They've both gone for ducks, and that is huge. 5 for 32. The Hurricanes are in a world of trouble. Their target right now, they need to just get themselves to 100 as Chris Jordan out to the crease. Zoe, ahoy there. Chris Jordan, of course, an England international. What can he come up here with here? Well, what he can do is he can guide it down the leg side straight to the keeper, and he's gone first ball. Thanks for coming, Chris Jordan. And Fergus O'Neill is on a hat-trick. The Hurricanes are 6 for 32, and they are on life support. This game could be over very, very quickly. Down the leg side, it was a horrible delivery. And he's tried to glance it away. And all he's done is pick up the keeper. 6 for 32. Fergus O'Neill will be on a hat-trick when he starts his next over. Well, this is incredible. It's their first hit out, the Hurricanes, their first hit out of BBL 14. But still, this is indefensible. The bowling hasn't even been that good. This has just been really, really lackadaisical batting. There's been some soft dismissals. That ball, in particular, should never have yielded a wicket. That should never have given a wicket. Well, I've tipped the Renegades to win, so I can't say that I'm too disappointed as far as the Wasted World of Sports BBL tipping comp goes. But it is disappointing for wanting to see a game made out of it. But still, got to be careful, right? To not judge a pitch before both teams have batted. You never know what might happen when the Renegades get out there to bat. We might find out that it's just an incredibly difficult pitch to bat on. Six for 33, 5.1 overs gone. I'll tell you what, if they don't set any kind of total, it makes my other bet questionable as well, because that sort of relies on some of the Renegades batsmen to be getting 10, as Ellis just pushes this one away. Out to cover, no run. Cruiser says that this honestly looks like a rebuild in the making for the Hurricanes. And conversely, the Renegades, I was talking about this at the top of the stream, about how the Renegades have recruited well. They're a much stronger looking squad in BBL 14. The Renegades are the traditional, excuse me, the Renegades are the traditional easy beats, right? They're the traditional bottom of the log team, but they have they've definitely built well, and they almost got the job done against the Sixers the other night. And of course, they've started very well here. Obviously, 6 for 33 after winning the bat flip and electing to bowl first. They've got the Hurricanes in a world of hurt. Six wickets down, 33 runs. And only one run off this over as well. A single and then 3 dot balls make that 4 dot balls. Runs are hard to come by here for the Hurricanes. .66. That's not good enough. That's nowhere near good enough. Ellis on strike for the last ball. Just tap down for the slip cord and no run to finish that one. 6 for 33. Yes, you heard correctly. 6 for 33. The Hurricanes in a world of hurt. Be right back. Enzo, how are they, mate? You are loving this, eh? You're loving it as Fergus O'Neill, he's on a hat-trick. Fergus O'Neill on a hat-trick. Fallen on the legs and played away. Down for a single to long leg. Two hat-trick opportunities for the Renegades bowlers tonight. That was a decent delivery, he gave himself every opportunity. Sleethy, ahoy there. Sleethy says, we are insane. Who's we? The human race? Ellis just bends this one away to point. No run. Liam, ahoy. Liam's out the wazoo here tonight. Oh, whoops. Spilled my drink. Straight down the ground, Ellis. Does he get enough on it? He does. Straight down the ground for 4. And that is the first boundary in a while. Beautifully played. But still, a lot of work to do here. 6 for 38. That's Ellis's first runs. 4 from 7. 5.85 the run rate. Nowhere near good enough. But it's going to be tough from here, obviously. 6 down. Well and truly into the tail. Ellis fends it away. Well, that's exactly it. Aaron888 says that's why you need 1 or 2 people in the middle order and you can milk 5 runs and over. Well, I personally think that they just got the batting order wrong, the Hurricanes. As this one is played away into the outfield. They'll come back for 2. And by getting the entire batting order wrong up the top, it just pushes that pressure down. Early wicket, next man in, under pressure. Another wicket, under pressure. The pressure just builds and builds and builds. It seems like such a small, insignificant thing, but getting the batting order correct is so important. And I know that it might seem weird to say, considering he got out very, very softly for a duck. But Ben McDermott, I would have thought, opening the batting. But we'll see. This is only game 1 for the Hurricanes. Let's remember. We can't judge the Renegades based on previous years. They're a much stronger unit in BBL 14. It's a long competition. Long enough competition anyway. Seven overs gone. 6 for 40. Sutherland back in. We haven't even seen Adam Zampa yet. That's incredible. There's 6 wickets down, and we have yet to see Zampa even into the bowling attack. Will we even get to see Zampa in the bowling attack? Hope is 13 off 13. Ellis has gone to 6 from 10. Never say never, of course, but it's going to take a monumental bowling effort Top edge. Has he got enough on it? Hope. No, he doesn't. And the catch is taken in cow corner. And Hope is gone. And perhaps with Hope on his way, all hope is gone for the Hurricanes of any sort of decent score. He was the last of the batsmen. And we are well and truly into the tail. It's bowlers who are going to have to come in and do the job now. 7 for 40. 7.2 overs gone. 7.2 overs gone. They are losing an average of a wicket every over. And the Renegades are in cruise control. Wasted World of Sports, of course, we've got coming up this weekend, Sunday afternoon. You can find the video link on the homepage, on the channel homepage, youtube.com/Wasted World of Sports. But we do have coming up a members-only live stream on Sunday, where we'll be running through some special things, including, just for a little bit of fun, I'm going to be opening up my childhood sports album, photo album. There's some weird and wonderful photos involved in that. Amongst other things, just a little end-of-year thank you and exclusive content for the channel members. So if you would like to join that, feel free to hit the join button on YouTube. Memberships start from as little as, I'm pretty sure it's as little as $1 a month. The lowest membership tier is extremely low. If you'd like to come and join us on Sunday afternoon, Queensland time. Seven for 40 here for the Hurricanes. Sutherland in again, clean, bowls him. Meredith is gone. And this is a video game at the moment. If you've played a cricket video game and you just run through the AI competition, that's what we're seeing here. 8 for 40. One-way traffic. There is no way they're getting through their 20 overs. Not a chance. Another duck. It's the third duck of the innings. Riley Meredith back in the dugout. Well, this is absolutely incredible. I mean, we've seen worse. But this has been pretty bad. I mean, I'm sorry, Hobart Hurricanes supporters, but this has been bad. 8 for 40, 7.4 overs gone. Stanlake comes out to the middle. And now the question is, how much longer will this go on? Is Adam Zampa even going to get to bowl? I had Zampa in my multi. Not that it matters, because Ben McDermott got himself out for a duck. So it doesn't matter all that much, but I had Adam Zampa as a wicket taker in my multi as well. I don't think he's even going to get a chance to bowl. Which is absolutely incredible. Stanlake leaves this outside off stump. Didn't even want to have a swing at that one. Last ball of this over, a 2-wicket maiden for Sutherland. if he gets this one right, a double wicket maiden. 2 overs, 2 for 1 at the moment as it stands. And it is indeed wide outside off stump. A double wicket maiden, and Sutherland has figures of 2 overs, 2 for 1. Renegades won the bat flip, elected to field, and they have shown why, I suspect. They've shown exactly why they made that call, because they have just skittled through the Hurricanes batting here. And it's hard to see. Well, it's impossible to see any way back. Defunk says, at this rate, I'm going to be 1 from 5 in the tipping. Well, in fairness, you started late as well, didn't you? There's a couple of people in the tipping comp that missed out on the first couple of games. Defunk with the goofy emoji. By the way, Defunk. Oh, here comes Adam Zampa. Well, we might get another tick off the multi for what it's worth. Reverse sweep, swing and a miss from Ellis. So Defunk, I'll have a chat to Michelle about this on Sunday as well to see if she's got any ideas. But you suggested better member emojis. I was just wondering if you had any specific suggestions for channel member emojis. What is something? What is conceptually something that you may use, for example? Zampa in again. Reverse sweep. Down to the third man boundary, but it's fielded. Yes, it'll be a topic of conversation for Michelle and I in the Christmas party on Sunday. Zampa, 3 deliveries left. Almost beats the bat of Stanlake. Two balls left. Bend it away. Yeah, obviously, we've only got 4 at the moment. We are restricted. The amount of channel members that you have, it then opens up more slots. So yeah, obviously Ahoy is very relevant, but I completely understand it's probably easier just to type Ahoy than it is to go looking for the emoji. But that was one that I obviously thought would get more use than it actually does. And the Alara emoji, I mean, that's just adorable, but I might be biased there. But yes, you are correct. There's only really the 1 or 2 that gets mentioned quite regularly. Yeah, because we've got these 4. Just so that people know what the hell we're talking about right now. You might be in the chat room going, the hell are these 2 idiots even talking about? Well, we're talking about the channel member exclusive emojis. So we've got the Ahoy there. We've got a Laura, my dog, in case you're wondering what a Laura is. That is my dog's face in emoji form. We've got the footy goalpost, which always gets cracked out whenever I go on about taking the two, as Ellis with a beautiful pull there and over the fence in deep mid-wicket for 6. A long, long overdue 6 for the Hurricanes. So in the rugby streams, I'm always talking about take the 2 or take the 3, and that's what the posts are there for. And of course, whenever anybody screws up, one of my favorite go-to lines is, "What a goof." So we threw Goofy in there as well. But I don't really say that much anymore, to be fair. I'm a little bit nicer to the players these days as the channel has experienced a bit more growth. Not as harsh on the players when they make mistakes. 8 for 49. Rogers is into his third over. 2.2. 3 for 24. Rogers and Sutherland have been the 2 standout bowlers. Can we get Tedesco's butt crack? Oh, I should write that down. I don't know how I could pull that one off. Hang on. Taking a photo with my phone is my version of jotting things down. Teddy's butt crack. Yeah, I don't know how I would pull that one off in emoji form, but it's obviously a very, very big part of the NRL streams, isn't it? There's actually, even for 2025, there's even a James Tedesco's Ass AI-generated song that will be coming out for all the Roosters games. So, yes, that's a good one. And that plays a very big part in the Wasted World of Sports channel. 8 for 50, 9.4 overs gone here. They have crawled to 50. Rogers outside off, a slash at this from Stanlake. Stanlake still hasn't got himself off the mark. Six deliveries and no runs. Stanlake fends it away. No run because they want Ellis on strike for the next over. 10 overs gone, 8 for 50. The run rate is 5. Halfway through this innings for the Hurricanes. I mean, they're 8 wickets down. Realistically, they're not going to get any kind of score here, but to give themselves the best chance possible, Ellis is going to have to do most of the heavy lifting. I think that goes without saying. Let's see. I mean, 10 overs left, so there's 60 standard deliveries. 60 legal deliveries still to come. Probably don't. This is the problem at the moment. Stanlake's none from 6. Looking at things realistically, you would say... Realistically, you would say to yourself, we've got 60 deliveries left. Let's just minimum aim for 60 runs. Let's aim to get a run of ball. But the problem with that is Stanlake is none from 7. I think Ellis would be capable of pushing at least a run of ball. But Stanlake down the other end is the big problem at the moment. Because if they got 60, they end up with 110, which is a very, very low score, but at least something. When you're in this situation, you're back well and truly against the wall. You've got to try and find some sort of goal to set yourself, something to work towards. And if you recover enough to give yourself something, you just never know. You never know. Cricket is one of those sports, more so than rugby league, where miracles can really, really, truly happen. It's a little bit harder in a game of rugby league or rugby union from a really, really dire situation to build yourself back into it. Well, they've called the power surge. The power surge has been activated. So this could be interesting. At the very least, here, Ellis can try and get some sort of move along. Richardson falling on the stumps. Played away to mid-off for no run. They won't be taking singles, that much is for sure. This is all about Ellis trying to just get some boundaries. Richardson, short, swing and a miss from Ellis. So not a good start here to the power surge. 2 dot balls. Not a good start to the power surge. It's not been a good start to the game, period, for the Hobart Hurricanes. Never mind the power surge. That one's in the slot. Ellis doesn't get hold of it, though. It's off the toe of the bat. They'll be able to come back for 2. Didn't get hold of that at all. Eight for 52. 3 deliveries left. Richardson's second over. Ellis is the key. Richardson, ball and played away. This time he's got hold of it. A full toss right in the arc. And Ellis puts it down to the fence. Well, what do they do now? It's the final ball of the over. They need to take advantage of as many of these hits as they can. Oh, there's 2 balls left. Okay, never mind. It'll be the next delivery that they need to worry about. Richardson, perfectly placed Yorker, run on the pads. No run. Now, this will be the interesting call. 6 off the over so far. They need to take full advantage of the power play, the power surge, and get boundaries. So does Ellis have a swing here, or does he look for a single somewhere to get himself back on strike for the next over? Because Stanlake is none of 7. How can Stanlake if he's facing the start of the next over, how can Stanley get Ellis back on strike? Here we go. Final ball of Richardson's second over. And Ellis just lobs it up. One bounce to mid-on. And they race through for a single. Well, there we go. Mission accomplished. Talk about setting yourself some small goals. That was a little mission accomplished there for the Hurricanes. 8 for 57. One more over of the power surge left. Defunk says, I think the lowest defended total in T20 is in the low 70s. And you're off for a smoko. Very nice. I don't know that Adam Zampa's going to get much of a chance for a wicket here. 11 overs gone, 8 for 57, the Hurricanes. And it is Sutherland back into the attack, and why not? 2 overs, 2 for 1. Wow, that's a shocker of a delivery. A wide full toss outside off stump. That ball, I think that got stuck in his hands there. Stuck in the grip. It's a no ball. It's a free hit. And that's one of the worst deliveries that you'll ever see. Trying again. Ball and on off stump. And it's sliced away from Ellis for 4. Through deep backward point. It was a free hit, so he could throw everything at it. Eight for 62. Creeping ever closer to that 100. Ellis goes again. Pulls this one over the top of mid-on. A couple of bounces and hits the boundary for 4. 8 for 66. Just creeping towards that 100. If they can get to 100, you just never know. This is what we've been talking about. Just get to the 100. Who knows what could happen? Back-to-back boundaries for the first time, probably ever, in their 11.2 overs so far. And it just puts a little bit of pressure on Sutherland, who'd been bowling so well up until this over. Slower ball, full on off stump, and it's been played away by Ellis beautifully. Just slaps it over mid-off. And a couple of bounces, and into the fence it goes. Ellis is the key. Nathan Ellis, the key here. Three boundaries in a row. Sutherland suddenly under a little bit of pressure. Drifts onto leg side. And it's through for no run. No contact made there. 2 deliveries left in the surge. A slower ball, and it's clipped off the top edge to backward point. And Ellis is on his way. 9 for 70. He got them some runs that they probably weren't expecting, though. And Sutherland, the slower ball. On off stump. Ellis going for the big hit. He had to. And he just clips it to backward point for an easy cash. 35 of 29, though. Ellis can hold his head high. He's the only Hobart Hurricanes batsman that can. And he has done his best there, Ellis, to try and give them something, anything at all, to try and have a bowl at. But I dare say it won't be enough. Waka Salam Keel. Well, there's a bowler that can make a difference, but before he gets the opportunity to bowl, they need to steal some runs here. Can Waka come through with the bat? 9 for 70. Sutherland is 3 for 14. Final ball of his third over. And it's guided away for a single. If they want it, they don't want it. Stanlake is going to take the majority of the strike from here, it seems. 9 for 70. 12 overs gone. Disappointing for the Hobart Hurricanes. Their first hit out of BBL 14. And it's been one to forget so far. Ellis, the pick of the batsman, which is depressing if you're a Hurricane supporter, that's for sure. Ellis probably shouldn't be your top scorer. Zampa back into the bowling attack. All right, can we at least get another tick off the multi? Can Adam Zampa take the final wicket? Into Stanlake. Stanlake goes for it. Top edge. And it's one bouncing over the fence. There was nobody out there at long on. And Stanlake is off the mark. And a boundary. Every boundary now, every run now is a gift for the Hurricanes. Zampa again. This one straightens, doesn't get turned. Stanlake just plods at it. And it's through to the keeper. No run. Nine for 74. Stanlake gets down on one knee, goes for the big slog. Doesn't get anywhere near getting hold of it. Another dot ball here for Zampa. Bowls him. Zampa gets the wicket. Clean bowled. It is another tick off the multi for what it's worth. Have yourself a beer there, Adam Zampa. So it was Ben McDermott that let us down. Ben McDermott let us down. But the Melbourne Renegades, we got tick, tick. And the Hurricanes have been bowled out for 74. It will take a miraculous bowling effort. But we'll see. We'll say it was the batting order, says D-Funk. I think, yeah, just rearrange the deck chairs a little bit, and you've got a whole different party. I mean, the Hurricanes, the team is not that different to previous seasons, and they've been quite a solid performing team, from what I remember. But look, it's their first hit out of BBL 14, like I said. Sometimes you just have a bad day at the office, right? It can happen. Enzo asks if I follow the Formula One. Oh, I've got a love-hate relationship with Formula One. And at the moment, it's erring on the side of hate. I have, ever since I was a kid, I've loved Formula One. There was a very, very big period there, many, many years, where I actually wanted to be an F1 driver. So Formula One has always been a part of my life. I've just struggled in recent years. Formula One basically is the only sport in the world that I know of where you can cheat, get caught cheating by the governing body of the sport. The governing body of the sport then sits you down in a room and asks you, what do you think your punishment should be? So you get caught cheating, you get to negotiate your punishment, and you also get to keep your championship that you won in the season that you got found to be cheating. And that just blows my mind. That blows my mind. We've seen it in rugby league. If you go over the salary cap, you get stripped of your premierships. So I don't understand how Red Bull were found to have gone over the budget cap in season 2021, which has given them an advantage throughout the entirety of these current regulations, because that's the nature of Formula One. You spend money to build a car, and if you're spending more money than anybody else, you've obviously got an advantage moving forward. That's just common sense. Red Bull fans will never accept or acknowledge that. But throughout this period of regulations, they overspent. It gave them an unassailable advantage. 2026, when the new regulations come in and it kind of resets everything, I might sort of get back into it. But yeah, when one team has blatantly broken the rules, have been allowed to, I mean, they basically got their punishment for it was the equivalent of Ezra Mam's slap on the wrist for his drug driving charge. And when that happens, you just lose interest a little bit, you know? I keep an eye on it. But I certainly haven't been watching it since 2021 went down. I haven't been watching it as religiously as I used to. That's for sure. Lord Farquad says FIA is corrupt. It's who pays the most money. McLaren did it this year. And you know what else I think, in all honesty, ruined Formula One? I think the Drive to Survive popularity ruined Formula One, because if you noticed, when Drive to Survive really took off and gained popularity, that's when that's when things really started to feel forced, manipulated, drama. It became all about drama, right? So, Drive to Survive coming to an end could be the best thing to happen to. It might be the best thing that's happened to Formula One in terms of financially and popularity, Lord Farquaad, but what I'm suggesting is it's the worst thing to have happened for the ethics of. I mean, we're talking about the FIA being corrupt. I feel like they're more corrupt now because they now have to cater to the popularity of Drive to Survive. They've got to make sure that there's drama to make it enthralling viewing, if you know what I mean. I mean, it's absolutely a good thing for the sport financially and popularity-wise, but I just can't help but notice that yes, there's some. I mean, even down to what's a penalty one week is not a penalty the following week. It all depends. Like, we've got to keep this interesting now. We've got to keep Drive to Survive interesting and watchable. That's the nature of what's happened, in my opinion. Anyway, good to know that there are some Formula One fans out there, though. 74 runs the Hobart Hurricanes have been bowled out for. Is it defendable? Is it in any way defendable? We'll find out in a few minutes. Now, oh, excuse me. Now, the other part of my multi. I can go ahead and switch that over. Let's see if I can do that without causing too much damage to my screen. Eureka Radio Fire, ahoy there. So, what I have done. Let's try and bring it up here so that we can follow along with it. Okay. Fraser McGurk. Let's go. Fraser. I'll just put him in. Girk. Okay. I'll put him in just as McGurk. Fraser McGurk to score 10 runs. Josh Brown to hit a 6. Nathan Ellis to take a wicket. And Chris Jordan to take a wicket. All right. That's what we've got going on for this next portion of the multi. Jason Hayden says, how boring is this game? I think for Hobart Hurricanes supporters, extremely boring. Okay, Fraser McGurk. Let's see if this updates. I should be able to just replace the photo and Fraser McGurk will magically appear there. And now the same for Big Josh Brown. Let's put him. You've got him to score 25. Look, he probably will. I like to play it safe and just go 10 plus. Because I've taken enough risks elsewhere. So Fraser McGurk, 10 plus. Josh Brown to hit a 6. Ellis to take a wicket. And Chris Jordan to take a wicket. And I'll have to find a way for future games to streamline this process a little better. And I don't have a photo of Chris Jordan in his Hurricanes here. So we're going to have Chris Jordan in his England. So we've got Chris Jordan in his England shirt, which looks coincidentally like the Renegades outfit. Okay, so that's the next portion of the multi coming up. Fraser McGurk, 10 plus. Josh Brown to hit a 6. Ellis and Jordan, the wicket takers. The run chase will be on shortly here on the Waste of Water Sports, live on YouTube, live on TikTok. The Renegades are well on top at the moment, and we'll be right back after a quick break to see if the Hurricanes can come up with anything to make this interesting. Some quick wickets, who knows? Be right back. Viking Axe, ahoy mate, Merry Christmas to you too, sir. Looking forward to season 2025 in the NRL. Been doing well, thank you. Erica Eureka Radio Fire. Very much looking forward to the new year and all the content that we've got planned. Not just on the Waste of Water Sports, but on my other channels as well. It's going to be a big year, big streaming year. I can feel it. Well, I mean, in many respects, it kind of has to be as well. I did leave my job to focus on this full time, so got to make it work, all right? 2025 will be the year. "74 runs for the Hurricanes. I reckon it's probably about 100 too short, but we'll see. You can never judge a pitch before both teams have batted. That's what we always say in the cricket. Never judge a pitch until both teams have bowled as well as batted." Fraser McGurk out there to open the batting. We've got him 10 plus runs. Josh Brown, the big fella down the other end, former Brisbane Heat player. We got him to hit a 6. And Ellis and Chris Jordan to do the damage with the ball for the Hurricanes, and a lot of damage they need to do, that's for sure. Only defending 74. This one has the potential to be over within 10, or it could draw out into a long and arduous process if the Renegades aren't careful. They've still got to be smart about it. I mean, 74 is just one of those scores that it's not ridiculously low. There's enough runs there to put some panic into the batting team if a couple of wickets fall early. So we'll see. Here we go. Can they come up with something here? The Hurricanes. Well, they can come up with a loosener, short and wide outside off stump for Fraser McGurk to just stand and deliver through point for 4. Well, they've started the bowling much in the similar way that they started the batting. And a little nod of acknowledgement down the non-strikers end from big Josh Brown. And Fraser McGurk, what a start. What a confident start. Stand and deliver. Meredith in again in a good shape. Going away from the batsman. No run. None for 4. 2 deliveries gone. Meredith in again. Good shape again off the outside edge. Down to third man. Do they come back for 2? No, they stay with 1. Meredith getting some good shape on those deliveries. Outward swing away from the batsman. Now, here we go. Big Josh Brown. Hit a 6 and get yourself out, mate. I don't really care after you hit your 6. It's all about the multi. My prediction, though, I reckon the Renegades win by 8 or 9 wickets. Meredith straight and onto the hip of Brown, who just pats it down for no run. .4 overs gone. Disappointed as a Brisbane Heat supporter to have lost Brown. 2 balls left. Brown slashes at this one, and it's through point for 4 more. Just playing with the shape there, playing with the shape away and guiding it through the gap. That is a beautiful shot from Brown. Beautiful. He just guided it. That's the thing. Brown is a big hitter, a monstrous hitter. But he's showing there that he's more than capable of just some nice soft hands through the gap, traditional cricket shot, and a swing and a miss at this one to end the over, but 9 from it. And this is a very good start to the run chase for the Renegades. I mean, suffice to say, well and truly on top. And a good start from Fraser McGurk as well. Fraser McGurk and Brown. Boundaries through point. And it's just a question of how long. How long will it take? How many overs? How many wickets might they lose? Billy Stanlake into the bowling attack. And that is way wide down leg side. Not a good delivery to open up with there, Stanlake. None for 10 off 1 over. Stanlake Better ball this time. Oh, and Fraser McGurk's cocked it in the nuts. Right in the box. He's got to walk that one off. Ah, no. Got him in the upper leg. Oh, he's still in a world of hurt here. Fraser McGurk, not happy. Little bit of time out here while he catches his breath. Better ball, that one from Stanlake. And now Fraser McGurk chops it on. And they've got the breakthrough. Well, he's out for 5. He was rattled, I think, by copping it. He either copped it in the box or he copped it on the upper leg. Wherever he got hit, though, there was obviously very little padding and he was rattled. At the very first ball, after that little stoppage, he chops on, leg stump, cops just enough for the bail to be dislodged. And there we go. We'll have the hurricane. Well, there goes my multi. For starters, multi's gone. Fraser McGurk has fouled with the bat again. This is the second multi of the year where I've put Fraser McGurk in for 10 plus, and he's let me down. But more importantly than all that, more importantly than the multi, 1 for 10. We've seen what can happen with a few quick wickets. Are the Hurricanes now going to start to just get a little bit interested as Tim Seifert to the crease? Yes, indeed, Jason. There goes our bet. What can you do? That is a fantastic ball. Stanlake banging it in short. But it's turned away for a quick single out to square leg. Seifert was very good in the last game. Renegades had also lost an early wicket in that one. Wide down leg side again. This will be called. He started with a wide, and he's thrown another one in now. 3 runs and a wicket off this over. The required run rate, by the way, is 3.42. So, I mean, they've almost got that just in extras off this over. So safe to say that they're going to have to take wickets. They're going to have to bowl them out. They're not going to defend 74 without getting 10 wickets. I think that goes without saying, but I'll say it anyway. 1 for 12. 2 deliveries left in this second over. Now, I tipped the Melbourne Renegades, the Wasted Water Sports free tipping contest that we're running for BBL 14 at tipping.cricket.com.au. It is free to join. I've tipped the Renegades, so I obviously want them to win. But there's also the neutral, impartial side of me that just wants to see a good game every single time. So that side of me would be more than happy to see a few wickets fall very, very quickly. But the competitive tipster in me wants to get the win, so wants the Renegades to just belt this in 5 or 6 overs. Final delivery of the over. Stanlake drops it in about halfway down the pitch, and Brown will pull it away for a single down to deep square leg. And it's 1 for 13 of 2. Fraser McGurk, the wicket to fall, missing out with the bat again. He'll be disappointed with his start. Riley Meredith back into the bowling attack. None for 9 off his first over. Brown on strike. And Brown playing a very controlled, stable innings at the moment off his first 7 deliveries. Renowned when he was at the Brisbane Heat, of course, last season. Renowned for his big hitting. That's why I went for him to hit a 6 in tonight's bet as well. But he's not really gone for a big shot at the moment. The one boundary that he has hit was a very, very soft hands, very controlled cut-through point. Still waiting for him to open up the big arms. Seifert glides it down. Square of the wicket to the boundary for 4. Nicely played. 1 for 18. $57 needed, 106 balls remaining. Swing and a miss there from Seifert. No run. And they need a lot more of those to the Hurricanes. A lot of dot balls. A lot of dot balls and a lot of wicket balls. .3 overs gone, 1 for 18. All the fielders around the circle. Ball and just fended away. That was nicely bowled. And backward point. Fires it in. No run. They've got to find ways to get wickets here, the Hurricanes. We've got Ellis and we've got Jordan, the wicket takers in the multi. Not that it's worth anything now anymore, thanks to Fraser McGurk. And it was Ben McDermott who let us down in the Hurricanes batting. Seifert goes for it. Doesn't get all of it, but gets enough of it. 1 bounce to the boundary over deep point. They're doing it easy at the moment, the Renegades. Sorry, 1 for 22. And that required run rate now comes down to 3.09. Final ball of the over. Again, Seifert goes for it, puts it through cover for 4. He's in fine form, Seifert. He was outstanding the other night against the Sixers, and he's equally brilliant again tonight. 1 for 26. And the Renegades chasing 74. Bluey, 1996, ahoy. Bluey says, up the Gades. Seifert. Well, I was talking about the Renegades in the pre-game, and I said they are not the whipping boys of the competition this season. They've recruited well. They've got a very strong-looking squad. They'll feature in the finals. That's my bold prediction. They'll be pushing the finals this year. All right, what's going on here? Ellis and Jordan are having a chat to the umpire about something. Very, very animated out there, Ellis, about something. Trying to get Wade off, knocked his calf, says Bluey. Right. They're changing keepers. Yeah, that was interesting. Ellis was very, very animated there talking to the umpire. And Ben McDermott will be taking over the wicket-keeping duties. Well, there you go. I wouldn't have thought that changing the wicket-keeper would... they're not just changing the wicket-keeper. He's coming off completely with that injury. Ben McDermott's taken over as the wicketkeeper, and Wade has left the field. The animated discussion has obviously yielded results, and the Hurricanes have got their change. Stanlake with the ball to bowl his second over, 1 for 4 off his first over, made the breakthrough. They need a lot more of those to the Hurricanes. Drifting onto the legs, and big Josh Brown says, thank you very much. And there is finally a tick off the multi. Unfortunately, Fraser McGurk let us down. And Bluey on TikTok, thank you very much there for sending that stuff through. 20 roses and a heart. I do wish, honestly, thank you very much, Bluey. By the way, cheers, mate. Stanlake, again, almost drifting into the hitting arc there of Brown. One for 33. Well, they're halfway there. The Renegades, in my opinion, the Melbourne Renegades have recruited the best for BBL 14. Hands down, the best recruitment drive in the off-season. An easy 2 there. 1 for 35, 40 runs needed, 99 deliveries up the sleeve. And they've made a statement here tonight, the Renegades. The Perth Scorchers and the Brisbane Heat, they set the bar early in their opening games, but the Renegades, they've now answered tonight. Hooked away from Seifert, and it's over the fence for 6. Oh, this is going to be all over within 7 overs. 21 off 8 for Seifert, 13 off 9 for big Josh Brown. As a Brisbane Heat supporter, a devastating loss to the squad. $15 off the over, and there's still 2 deliveries left. It's in the slot. Seifert goes for it. It's high. Has he got enough on it? Oh, by God, he's got enough on it. It hits the sight screen on the full. Back-to-back 6s. 21 runs off this over, and there's still a delivery left. The Renegades are not hanging around here. "90 meters straight down the ground. Into the sight screen. Remember when the sight screens used to be on wheels on the field? Those were the days. Last ball of Stanlake's over, and he's clipped away. Square on the leg side. 2 bounces. And into the deep square leg boundary for 4 more. 25 runs off the over. And it's 1 for 51. They're within touching distance now. 4 overs gone, and they are within touching distance of this total. The Renegades have made very light work of this run chase. Rejoice, Melbourne Renegades supporters, but in terms of a contest, it's been a very disappointing last couple of games. I think we were spoiled with that Stars game. Not the Stars, sorry, Thunder. We were spoiled with that Thunder game the other night, and the opening game. The opening couple of games were really close. But the Brisbane Heat, they spanked the Stars last night, and the Renegades have absolutely destroyed the Hurricanes here tonight. Ellis into the attack, slower ball, and a dot to start. 1 for 51, 4.1 overs gone, chasing 75 to win. 24 runs needed off 95 balls. Talk about cruise control now. Ellis winds up again. It's wide outside off stump. Brown off the top edge has picked out the man at deep point. And they lose their second wicket. Michelle, ahoy there. Welcome to the massacre. Josh Brown's on his way back. And the second wicket down. I'll be right back. Well, this is most definitely the shortest game of cricket that we've ever covered here on the Western World of Sports. As Jacob Bethel. Ellis gets a wicket too, by the way. That is a tick off the multi. Ellis gets a wicket. Oh. Yeah, Thursday night, isn't it? Honestly, all the days just blend together now for me. It's ridiculous. It was Tuesday night the other night, as it often is a couple of nights before Thursday. But it's Tuesday night. I'm thinking it's the weekend. I've gone to put on these podcasts that I normally listen to that drop on Saturdays. I'm like, where is it? Oh, holy hell, it's only Tuesday. When you don't have a regular 9-to-5 job, all the days just kind of mush together into one. 2 for 51, 4.3 overs gone, one-way traffic here in this one. I hope that you tipped the Renegades. Wasted World of Sports. I hope you all tipped the Renegades. You did. Well, there you go. So you're still on a perfect round. Wow. Well done. I thought this might be one that I sneak back. I went for the Renegades early on, so I thought this might have been one that I snuck back on people, but seems like others went for the Renegade. Seems like others went for the Renegades as well. Ellis in again, 2 balls left in the over. Seifert just fends it away to backward point, no run. TikTok's been going off tonight. Thank you very much, TikTok. Wasted World of Sports, of course, live on YouTube, live on TikTok, sometimes live on Facebook. I promise to the Facebook people that can't hear me right now because we're not live on there, but if you are from Facebook and you've hunted me down on one of the other platforms, I promise that 2025, a lot more Facebook content. I have to pay for it, is all. I don't like having to pay for things. But yeah, it's not as easy to go live on Facebook as it is the other platforms, is the reason why I haven't been doing it for this big bash. But TikTok been going off tonight. Yes, thank you very much once again to Liam and Bluey 1996 for the generosity over there. Sending through TikTok's version of Super Chats. 20 roses and a heart from Bluey and 1 rose from Liam. Cheers to that. I'll tell you what, though. I really wish TikTok would come up with less... how can I say this? Less romantic things. Like you send a streamer a rose or a heart, and it's like, obviously I'm going to say thank you. But like, could they come up with something like on YouTube, for example? It's a super chat. It doesn't sound weird when you say thank you for the super chat. But for people who are on other platforms that don't know what TikTok is and how TikTok works, and I'm just like, cheers, mate, for sending me 20 roses, right? If you don't know what the hell that means, it can probably sound a bit odd to the uninitiated. Two for 54, 21 needed off 89 balls. The Renegades have got themselves into a fantastic position on the table here as well. If we have a look at the table, actually, just quickly, if I pull that up again, we can see the Renegades will be... they'll probably temporarily, at the least, go to the top of the table as Bethel pulls this one away. Just short of deep mid-wicket there. They'll come through for a single. Jordan into the attack. So let's see if he can come up with a wicket. Then it will only be Fraser McGurk that's let me down. Sorry, Laura. Seifert down the leg side. Did he get a piece of that? No, it's a wide. Ah, this is the Geelong Cats Stadium, is it? There you go. Delivery 3 from Jordan. Slower ball. Straighten on the stumps. They come through for a quick single. 19 runs needed now. 18. It drops down to after that single. It's only 10 past 8. That is insane. This game has been so quick. Jordan onto the legs. Bethel falling as he makes contact with that one. Down to deep fine leg for a single. It was funny. I was talking earlier about there was a straight drive that hit the sight screen on the full for 6. And I remember the good old days when the sight screens used to be on rollers. They were on wheels on the field. And those were the days. Seifert gives himself some room and looks to ramp it over the top of the keeper, but missing completely. And the injury to Matthew Wade, they'll be keeping an eye on that, obviously, the Hurricanes. They won't want Matthew Wade to be out for any length of time. Jordan, slower ball again. Turned away from Seifert. Out to deep mid-wicket. Just the one. 6 off that over. 2 for 59. 16 needed. Just edging ever closer now, the Renegades. You would have to say that it would be... I don't think I can even commentators curse this from this point by saying it's hard to see any scenario from here where this becomes difficult for them in any way. Let me put it that way. Cruising on through. Two for 59. 16 runs is just one big over, basically. Ellis into the attack. Driving at this one, outside off is Seifert, just down for a single. To the fielder out there at long off. Seven overs gone. Yeah, catch later, Gino Ferricini. Geez, I'm at the part of the stream now where I'm thinking about what am I going to eat after we're done. And now I feel like pasta. Can you imagine if I lived in the same house as Gina Ferricini, I would probably feel like pasta every single night. It'd be crazy. Bethel goes for the big hit, gets the top edge, McDermott's under it with the gloves. And that's a keeper's catch. Another wicket falls. Bethel on his way back to the dugout. 3 runs off 5 deliveries. Trying to get a move along. Three for 60. 15 needed off 81 balls. 7 wickets in hand. There's no way, surely, that they could balls this up from here. Surely. Surely not. Wouldn't be possible. Plenty of batting still to come, though, of course. Laurie Evans, it is, out to the crease. .3 overs gone, 3 for 60, chasing 75 to win. Ellis picks up his second wicket. On Christmas Eve, you make carbonara proper, no cream, traditional Italian carbonara. Very nice. Why Christmas Eve? Christmas Eve carbonara tradition. Two deliveries left here in this over. Ellis falling on the stumps. And they race through for a single. Well, no, they don't. They didn't even get through for a single. Had to be sent back there. Some good work in the field. So the Renegades won the bat flip. Decided to field first. And they ran through the Hobart Hurricanes, bowling them out for 74. Making a real statement that they are a team to contend in BBL 14. Evans guides this one away through point for 1. Another wicket for Ellis, and only 2 runs from the over. It's 3 for 61. Seifert and Evans. Seifert again, been fantastic. I probably backed the wrong horse. I went Fraser McGurk. Fraser McGurk in the multi. Probably should have gone Seifert. Watch me pick Seifert next time, and he'll get out for a duck. And Fraser McGurk will score 50. Guarantee you that will happen. I've pretty much got to keep backing Fraser McGurk from here on in. Otherwise, it's going to be painful when exactly what I just said happens. Only 14 runs needed now. Meredith back into the attack. None for 22 off his opening 2 overs. And he drifts onto the pads immediately. And Evans just says, thank you very much. It was a half volley. And he's just clipped it over long leg. Starts with a 6. Well, that's really poor bowling from Meredith. Three for 67. 8 runs needed. They're going to do it off this over. I reckon that they're targeting this over now, especially starting with a 6. This is the over. I reckon they go for it. Stepping back, giving himself room. There was a sound. There was definitely a noise on the way through there. Nobody was particularly interested in appealing. They may as well have a look. I mean, why not? There was definitely a clear sound. Nobody seemed particularly interested, though. There was only one person appealing. I think it was probably the bowler. Stepping back, giving himself room. Well, there's definitely a sound there. It has to be bat. There is nothing else even close. The batsman has stepped back to give himself room, so there's no chance that that's clipped a pad or anything else. And that's a really interesting piece of play there. There's a clear sound. And it's a big edge. A massive edge. And he's going to be on his way. Well, that's interesting. That is a huge edge through to the keeper. And there was only one person that really appealed for it. Everybody missed it. And this is going to be given out. Well, that is just fascinating. That might be the biggest outside edge that I've ever seen in a game of cricket that's just been completely missed by everybody. But that one person, and I think it was the bowler, I think it was Meredith himself, was the only one on the field appealing for it. They've gone upstairs to review it, and it's a massive edge. And he's on his way. They lose their 4th wicket here, the Renegades, for what it's worth. Only needing 8 runs further for victory. They're still well and truly in command. But a 4th wicket down. And Mackenzie Harvey, the new man out to the crease. And I'll tell you what, for the Hurricanes, it'll just be a question of what if. What if they got a better score? 4 for 67 is by no stretch of the imagination a good total for the Renegades, but they're only chasing 75, so it's just a big question of what if. There's a dot ball to start here for Harvey. 8 runs needed, 75 balls left, 6 wickets in hand. And with only 3 deliveries left in this over, they've probably forgotten about going for the win this over. Meredith again, outside off stump, guided away from Harvey. Through point for 1. And they come back for a second. Well run. 6 runs needed now. 1 big hit, essentially. 1 monstrous hit. I'm sure that they want to finish it this over, if at all possible, but even 4 for 60, I mean, you don't want to throw your wicket away needlessly, even if the game is well and truly in command. Short and outside off stump, slapped away from Harvey, but there's protection out there. Deep point. It'll just be the single. Five to win. Big performance from the Renegades. After losing their first match, Well, there you go. The 4th season in a row, the Hurricanes have started with a loss. And a dot ball to finish there for Meredith. Be right back. So Nathan Ellis back into the bowling attack. 2 for 4 off his 2 overs so far. Only 5 runs needed to win, though. But can he bag another wicket or 2? Turned away for 1. 4 to win. You should imagine that they'll get the job done this over, although Ellis has been bowling well. And he's kept things very tight. 2 for 5 or for 2.1, but they'd have to be going for it. Slower ball. Fallen on middle stump. Turned away just for 1. The field's all back, so, I mean, there's gift singles everywhere. I get the impression that the Hurricanes have resigned themselves to a heavy defeat here. I mean, they're just giving free singles everywhere. So they've pretty much resigned themselves to the fact they've lost. It's just a matter of trying to draw it out for as long as possible, I guess. Make them do it in ones rather than one big hit for as much as possible. Ellis, full. Driven down the ground, beats the infield. That's some really poor fielding. They'll come back for a second. And just the 1 run to win now. That was really poor field. For what it's worth. Chris Jordan, you want better than that from your international player. That was really lazy from Jordan. I mean, the game's over, so it's easy to kind of look at it and go, whatever. But as a coach, I would be looking at things like that. I would notice things like that big time. So just the 1 run needed for a comprehensive victory for the Renegades. Will it finish this ball? No, a swing and a miss outside off stump from Harvey. And everybody's having a little chuckle over that. Still, 1 run needed. Imagine, oh my God, can you imagine the headlines? Imagine the story if there were like 68 dot balls now. And this game ended in a tie. It would have to go down as the most miraculous save ever in the history of cricket. But very little chance. I mean, it'll probably finish with a wide or something. Another dot ball. 67 to go. Ellis has been fantastic. 2.5 overs, 2 for 8. That's why I had him in my multi. Final ball of his third over. Puts it in short, and it's been pulled away to the fence for 4, and Harvey finishes it in style. And the Melbourne Renegades have won this match, a comprehensive victory. 9 overs it took them to chase down the 75 they needed. And after their loss in their first game, that is a massive, massive victory. Renegades win by 6 wickets. And the Hobart Hurricanes, it was mentioned earlier, the last 4 seasons now, they have started with a loss. And we know that the Hurricanes quite often feature come finals time. So all is certainly not lost for them in their first hit out. They've fought back from these situations many times before, it would seem. So the Renegades get points on the board. And they will have a very impressive net run rate after that as well. So temporarily, I would say, depends what their net run rate was to begin with. But maybe they've temporarily just put themselves on top spot here. Potentially. We'll have to see. It doesn't have net run rate on the table that I've got on the screen there. Big win. Wasted World of Sports. I hope that you tipped the Renegades. I certainly did. Hopefully you did too. I know Michelle said she did, which is incredible. All right. Well, in terms of a contest, obviously an absolute stinker of a game. Well, the past couple have been. The BBL, it started so well as far as good contestable games. The past couple, as far as contests, have been very, very disappointing indeed. But still, very much worth it. I'm enjoying the Big Bash. I'm enjoying covering it for the first time here on the channel. Wasted World of Sports, live on YouTube, live on TikTok. And once again, much like last night, there's not a whole lot to say after this game. There's not a lot of post-match analysis to do because it was an absolute spanking. Very one-sided. Sunday, the Brisbane Heat versus the Adelaide Strikers. That should be a good one. It's at the Gabba. Brisbane Heat versus the Strikers. And that will probably be the next Big Bash game that I cover as well. Because I've got a birthday party to go to on Saturday. So I won't be able to do Saturday's game. And, what about tomorrow night's game? I'm undecided about tomorrow night's game because I'm quite exhausted after doing these opening 5 in a row. Been a busy week. But we'll see. I may or may not do tomorrow's game. But definitely doing the Brisbane Heat on Sunday night. Brisbane Heat, Adelaide Strikers. That should be a good one. Fingers crossed. Anyway, fingers crossed for a good game in that one. Thank you very much, Wasted World of Sports. Very much appreciate your company as always. And once again, Bluey 1996 and Liam, thank you very much for the roses over there on TikTok. TikTok's loving the Big Bash, I've noticed. It's quite funny because, like, we do the rugby and the NRL, which goes off on YouTube and is very, very quiet on TikTok. We're doing the cricket now, which is very, very quiet on YouTube, but it's going off on TikTok. I don't understand. Oh, well. As long as it's popular somewhere, I'll keep doing it. Thank you very much once again, and I'll catch you guys next time. Until then, cheers. Congratulations to the Renegades. Massive, massive, massive victory here. 6 wickets. getting themselves on the board.